Hey guys, welcome back to Talk to Yue. In this video, we're going to continue the simulation of the new HSK 3, so that is level 3 of the new system that is valid from July 2026. I have published 2 videos before this where we go through the exercise where you have to match questions and answers, and today we're going to cover a different kind of exercise, which is the one where you have to insert the word in the correct sentence with a gap. So, without further ado, let's get started. As you can see, you have 10 questions of this type, 5 on one page, 5 on another. And just like in the previous system, you are given 5 words and 5 sentences that each have a gap somewhere. What you have to do is you have to match these words with the correct sentence. And of course, the main difficulty is recognizing the character of the word that you need to use and also use it in a grammatically correct way. So the exercise type actually has not changed with HSK 3.0. What has changed is the word list, so you might find words that previously were not on the list for HSK 3. So let's get started reading the 5 words. A says 经历. Li is the same character from 历史, which means history. 经历 means experience, so something that you have experienced in your life. Then in B, we have 关系, which means relation. You can use it in the sentence 没关系, or you can use it to express a relation with you and one of your friends or a person you know, for example. Then we have 环境, which means environment. D is 机会. 机会 means opportunity. 这是一个很好的机会. This is a very good opportunity. And lastly, we have 方法, which means method or way of doing something. So now that we are familiar with all the words we need to use, let's go and read each sentence and see which one fits the best. So number 41 says, 学校为学生提供了很多练习口语的 something. So the school, this way introduces a complement. In this case, we see the verb is 提供, which means provide. So the school provided for the students 很多 many 练习口语的 something. So 练习 is exercise, practice. 口语 is speaking a language. And since there is the, we know that the word after it is going to be a noun. So it's not going to be a verb, for example, or an adjective. It's going to be a noun. So if we take a look at our words, we see that all of them are nouns. So grammatically, any of these can fit, but let's look at the ones that make the most sense. So the school provides a lot of practice for its students to speak. So something that does not make a lot of sense is B, a relation, because we said it's a relation with a person. Same for C, it is not really an environment. You do not say 很多环境, a lot of environments. And you also do not really use 经历 in this context, a lot of experience, because you do not really provide experience. So here something we could use is either D or E. It provides a lot of 机会, a lot of opportunities, or a lot of methods to exercise their speaking. D and E can both fit. So let's wait until we get through the rest of the sentences to see which one is left out by exclusion. That is also something you can do if you're not sure. So let's progress to number 42. 搬到新的城市以后，我需要时间适应这里的 something. So 搬到, after or once you have moved to a new city. I 需要, I need time, 时间. 适应 means to adapt. So I need time to adapt to something that is 这里 here. So this is already a bit more narrow because the only word that makes sense in this context is 环境. I need to get used to the environment that is here. So let's add C into this gap. And always remember to strike out the words you have used. Then 43 says, 他给我介绍了一个学习韩语的好 something. So he introduced to me, this could be a person or it could be an object. So we could either say 关系, a relation, but in this case it does not make a lot of sense because they would have rather said he introduced me a teacher or another kind of person that you can really introduce. So that means we need to look for something else that we can associate with 学习韩语. And the only thing that we can associate is 反法. He introduced me to a method, a good method to study Chinese. So this is what makes the most sense. Then we have 44. 虽然他们住得很远，但是 something 一直很好。虽然但是 even though something happens, so even though they live 住得很远, they live far, far away, far apart. However, something 一直 always continued to be 很好. So what can continue to be 很好? We have three options open: 经历 experience, B 关系 relation, and D 机会. And the only thing that makes sense in this context is 关系. So even though they live far apart, their relationship is still good. Then let's go to 45. 这次旅行是一次难忘记的 something. So this time, 旅行 synonym of 旅游. So this trip, this travel is 一次. 次 is always the classifier or the measure word for 旅行. 难忘记, difficult to forget. So this trip is either 经历 an experience or 机会 an opportunity that is difficult to forget. And in this context, it makes sense to use 经历, so option A. It is an experience that is difficult to forget. So now we still have one option that was open, and now we see more clearly what is the only option that makes sense. With 41, the school provides a lot of 机会, a lot of opportunities for students to practice their speaking. So just like this, we have finished the first exercise. The fastest way to do it is to first read all the words that you have to fit into the sentence and then read each sentence. And of course, the first couple sentences will take longer because you will have more options open, but as you go through, you will be able to match them more quick. And do not panic if you cannot find the correct answer right away. You can always leave it open and then fill it in later. So these were the first 5 sentences. Let's go do the other 5 sentences so we finish the rest of the exercise. And keep in mind that usually the second part is a bit longer and slightly more difficult also for the kind of words that are chosen. So like before, let's read the words. A is 终于, which is finally. So this is important because it is an adverb. It means it comes before a verb. So we can also be strategic and look for gaps that come before a verb. 终于. Then we have 互相. 互相 means mutually or something you do to each other. Then C, 顺便. 顺便 means by coincidence or something that happens casually, something that was not planned. Again, an adverb that comes before the verb. Then we have D, 负责. 负责 is a very important word. It can be a verb, it can be a noun. It means responsibility or to be responsible for something. And then lastly is I, 继续. 继续 is a verb and it means to continue doing something. So these words are slightly more elevated and were usually not part of HSK 3 in the previous system. So let's go read the sentences. 46 says, 你去超市吗? 去. So are you going to the supermarket? Yes. 那你 something, 帮我买一瓶牛奶吧. 没问题. So you something can help me buy a bottle of milk. No worries. So帮助 is a verb, so we need an adverb. So we already exclude the D and E because they are both verbs. They cannot go before another verb in this case. So we have option 终于. So can you finally help me to buy a bottle of milk? It does not make a lot of sense. Same for B. Can you help each other? But then it says 我, so it does not really make sense. So we're left with C, 顺便. So 你顺便帮我. So can you please, by coincidence, can you actually help me get a bottle of milk? So this 顺便 shows that it was not originally planned for this person to also buy milk, but since the opportunity came up, they can add that to their list. So it is C. And let's go to 47. 这个项目 谁来 something, 王经理. So this 项目, this project, who comes doing something. So here we can imagine that the gap needs to be filled with a verb. Who comes to do something, right? And the main question is 谁, and it is answered with manager Li, Wang Jing Li. So this project, who comes to either, the only options are D or E because they are the only verbs. So 负责 is be responsible for something, and E is 继续, which is continue. So here what makes the most sense is D. Who comes to be in charge of this project? And the answer is manager Li. So it is D. Also, the fact that he is a manager can make us understand that he has a more responsible role, let's say. So let's continue with 48. 休息一下吧。不用了，我想 something 完成纸片报告. So relax a little. And the other person says, no, I don't want to, or it's no use. 想 can be followed by a verb, but also an adverb, because here 完成 is also a verb. So I want to finish this 报告, this report. So the options we have are 终于, which is an adverb, grammatically could work. I want to finally finish this report. B, again, does not make a lot of sense because usually 互相 has two things or two people involved. So I want to mutually finish this report. It does not make sense. And E, continue. So I want to continue finishing this project. That also makes sense. So A and E can both work. So let's keep them in mind and skip to the next sentences. So 49 says, 你们为什么合作的这么好？因为我们经常帮助 something. So why do you 合作 to collaborate, work together? Why do you collaborate so well? 这么好? Because we often help something. So here we see two people are involved and we're talking about collaborating. So it's really easy to see that it is B. We often help each other. We would say in English, 帮助互相. And let's go to the last sentence. 经过3个月的联系，我 something 能流利地介绍自己了，太好了. So 经过, it has passed or it has been 3 months of practice, 练习. I, something, 能, which is a verb, so before this would be an adverb. I can 流利的, 流利 is fluent, so I can fluently present myself, introduce myself. So the two options we have are 继续, continue, or 终于, finally. And here we need an adverb, and the only option is 终于. I can finally introduce myself after 3 months of practice. So A is taken care of, so that means that we can go back to the other sentence and be fairly certain that it is answer E. So I want to continue working or I want to continue finishing this report. So we have completed the last 5 sentences of this exercise. That means that in the exam, then you would move on to the next section, and I will be covering that, but in a separate video. So for now, thank you very much for going through this simulation with me, and I wish you best of luck in your Chinese learning journey. 再见!